Welcome to part 3 of the Big Daddy D reviews the second Leeds Zombie Film Festival. So far we'd had Plan 9 from Outer Space, Diary of the Dead, The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue, Record, and now it was time for the 5th film. Next up, Black Sheep. And no, I'm not talking about the Chris Farley, David Spade sack of crap from 1996. The movie came out the year after we had snakes on a plane, and this is essentially sheep that have become zombies. As Dom and Mark stated on their website, Emmerdale will never be the same again. In fact, that would make for a heck of an episode, wouldn't it? So anyway, with taglines like, "Get the flock out of here," and "Get ready for the violence of the lambs," you know that this film doesn't take itself too seriously.
This film contains a scream in it, right? I don't think I'm spoiling by saying this is directed by... Dom's doing the research for this, but it's directed by a guy called Jonathan King. Not that Jonathan King. That would be awful. Inappropriate. But it's, yeah. What happened to him? He directed this. No. No, but it's got in it the bit where Jonathan King appears in the film. There's two German... Not that Jonathan King. No, it's inappropriate. But there's two guys, German guys, who get attacked... I'm not spoiling the plot here. Get attacked by the zombie sheep. Right? Not spoiling the plot. I think that's self-explanatory, even to the most basic life forms. Obvious. Right? No, Jonathan King is attacked. He's the one who's looking for his keys. You'll know the scene when it comes up. And he emits a scream. Shall I let you explain the scream?
The scream is called the Willhelm Scream, which has been used in 130 films so far, and it sounds like this. Yeah.
So it's really awful. Well, anyway, the film, it's supposed to be like this. Really quiet and effective. No, it's been used, so it's like a movie cliche. Right? So it's just another nerdling thing to pick up on. When you hear the script, it's been used over and over again. The same voice, we don't know who recorded it, the same voice over and over again for decades.
Here's a list, but it was used in a 1953 film called Charge of Feather River. Yes, and there was a character in it called Willhelm that fell off. We got an arrow in his leg and he just went...
That was the scream.
Since then it's been used in all the Star Wars films, all the Indiana Jones films, Howard the Duck, Willow, Toy Story, Small Soldiers, Lethal Weapon, Team America, Hellboy, Sin City, Wallace and Gromit, Kill Bill, King Kong, Black Sheep.
Yay!
You see how Dominic did the link? It's linked it.
Containing the right blend of gore and laughs that is very reminiscent of some of Peter Jackson's early movies. The premise for this is that in the middle of Hobbit country, aka New Zealand, sheep are being genetically modified into... super sheep, I guess. Now a bunch of hippie animal rights type people break into this farm where the experiments are taking place and steal a canister that has the label Biohazard on it. What follows is what usually happens when hippies steal canisters marked a biohazard from secret labs. We get the first killer mutant sheep. Cute little bugger, isn't he? This little guy successfully managed to infect an entire flock of sheep, who then proceed to spend the rest of the film with their faces covered in blood, guts and gore, looking for some tasty humans to eat. You know, seeing people getting ripped apart by hordes of sheep is quite a sight to behold. We get people clubbing sheep with their own legs and faces being bitten off. It's also very charming. Now, even if you are lucky enough not to get eaten alive by the psychotic woolly bastards, but just get bitten a bit, you will eventually turn into a were-sheep. And how do you stop a were-sheep? Not with garlic or silver bullets like you would a werewolf. Oh no, you use mint sauce. Although, if you've got an aromatherapy candle handy, you can use that as well. Now, at the end, it turns out that the evil corporation that does experiments on sheep is actually run by the main hero's perverted brother. And he likes sheep. I mean, really likes sheep.
What are you doing in here? You wouldn't understand.
2007 film, directed by Jonathan King, who's not that one. This is a film of sheer terror.
Yay!
People flocking to the cinema.
Yay!
So, you wouldn't you like... Anyway, it's very boring. And here's a couple of reviews for it. Refreshes the overdone zombie genre. How can you overdo a zombie genre? It's impossible. If every single film was a zombie genre, you couldn't make this. This is ridiculous.
You don't answer that. That's a sort of like just a
I
question.
just really made me angry. How can you overdo that? Anyway, another review. No out of 10. Only puerile adolescents would view this collection of squishy, grotesque.
Yay! Woo!
They're all here.
Collection of squishy grotesqueries and squirting arteries as perfect Friday night entertainment.
We all like a squirt.
As expected, evil brother gets bitten and becomes a were-sheep as well. But if you don't have any mint sauce or a candle to hand, it turns out that the propeller on a plane is a handy zombie sheep destroying tool as well. After being turned back into a human, he approaches the flock of sheep, half dead, bollock naked, and completely out of his fucking mind, asking the sheep to turn him into one of them again. Now, at last year's Zombie Film Festival, I cringed at the eye trauma scene in Zombie Flesh Eaters, and I squirmed uncomfortably in my seat when Quentin Tarantino's penis melted in Planet Terror. But nothing could have prepared me for the sight of a mutant killer sheep eating another guy's cock.
That was a man.
You know, I'm probably going to get into trouble for having this picture here, so let's censor it. Yeah, that hasn't really made a difference, has it? I noticed when this movie was announced on the Leeds Zombie Film Festival forum that there was a lot of divided opinions, with people either making out this was a steaming pile of sheep shite, or that it was one of the funniest movies they'd ever seen. When you start watching the film, you're kind of thinking, this is either the lamest movie I've ever seen or one of the funniest. But at least you can say it never gets boring. I mean, let's face it, any film that finishes with a guy getting his cock eaten by a mutant sheep is where people watch at least once.
Yeah, I'll take him out, yeah.
Oh, I'm introducing the film. I forgot about that. Thank you so much for coming and staying with us throughout this ordeal. So I'm introducing Dawn of the Dead 2004.
Hey!
Made by, in my opinion, the pointless Zack Synder. Watchmen and 300. There's my evidence. Good night.
No, but one of the best first 10 minutes of any film ever, and a classic remake.
Which is it? Oh, this. No, Dawn of the Dead's brilliant, but his other films, how do you say in English? Fucking rubbish.
To make matters worse, this time the zombies are running. And I don't just mean that they walk a bit faster than usual, I mean these fuckers look like they're doing the 100-metre dash. Zombies can't run, okay? They're slow and shambling creatures. If the dead were brought back to life, they wouldn't be going at speeds like this. They would be slow, stumbling, and maybe a little bit stupid. Still, I was able to look past this with Channel 4's Dead Set miniseries last year, as well as with 28 Days Later and its sequel. Although they're never referred to as zombies, are they? The premise is the same as the original, in which a group of survivors take refuge in a secluded shopping mall in a world that has been plagued by the living dead. Whilst the original only focused on 4 characters, this remake has a lot more. But there's not really enough time for characterisations for all these characters like in Romero's movie. It's obvious that these extra bodies are just there to be zombie fodder. As in the original, one of the characters is pregnant, but this remake takes it a step further by having the mother infected with the zombie virus as well, eventually leading to the birth of a zombie baby, which I suppose is the filmmaker's attempt to try and shock us, but it just comes across as really cheesy. Put it this way, I'm not changing any fucking nappies. What a shame the little bugger got killed off straight away. The concept could easily have been carried over for a sequel. Just think of the possibilities.
George Romero himself wasn't keen on the idea of running zombies, and to be honest, neither am I. Also the fact that all the characters seem to be all toted up with shotguns, and that it actually plays more like a video game more than anything. But as soon as a zombie pops up on screen, he gets his head blown off straight away before he can pose a real threat. I would have liked to have seen Shaun of the Dead at the festival instead. I actually mentioned this to Don and Mark at one point, and they did say they're going to try and get that for the 3rd Leeds Zombie Film Festival, so yeah, they're already making plans for next year. Anyway, the lineup probably wasn't as strong as what it was last year, but nevertheless it was a fantastic night. The venue was better than City Varieties last year, comfier seats, my ass isn't quite as what it was last year. And I'm already looking forward to if they're doing this for a 3rd time. Pete's driving like a maniac as usual. So, until now, until later, this is the Big Daddy D signing off. The 2nd Leeds Zombie Film Festival is going to get a resounding 2 thumbs up.
I wanna kill!